Start with that, you guys. Sorry, I forgot that I should be filming this stuff. So I already got 4 of these cut. I need a total of 12 of them. And these are going to be, I'm going to make, you'll see, it'll be a triangle on each side with we'll see what I end up with material wise, and I'll just split that, and we'll make, it's just basically a metal sawhorse that's going to hold my pipe. So I'm going to try and set you guys up for a time lapse. But you can see cutting saddles. Maybe I'm going to flip this camera around. So I'm cutting saddles. Got torch set up. Welder I borrowed from work. This is my torch. The torch set was my great-grandpa's. He gave it to my grandpa, who gave it to my dad, who gave it to me. It all still works. So that's pretty cool, old Victor set. So like I said, I'm going to set up a time lapse if I can. We'll see how that goes. So what I'll do now that I've got this cut, and we're just kind of being cheap and reusing this saddle. They're not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close enough. And so what I'll do is measure from here 36 inches back, and I'll put a mark, roll it over, put a mark on this side off of this point, and then I'll line this up, and I'll mark the top, roll it over, and I'll mark the top, and so then I'll have an X, and then you come off 30 degrees from each side of the X, roll it over, 30 degrees from each side of the X, and that's how you draw your saddle in if you don't have a template or something like that. It's not perfect, but it's going to be good enough that I'll be able to weld it. It's super windy out here, which is kind of giving me a hard time. I'm not trying to cut my bevels in with the torch, because if you do that, then you'll end up with this bevel basically being backwards, and then you have to cut this again. So I'm cutting these kind of straight, and then I'll just clean these up with a grinder. Clean these up with a grinder. So I don't think I have tape with me, so I'll just have to see if I can prop the phone up somewhere. We'll get a time lapse going. Alright, so I got my 12 of these cut up. So that's 6 per sawhorse, and what I'm going to do is make a triangle on each end, and then I'll connect it together so that you could roll it basically in any direction and it would still work exactly as intended based on the material I have left. And the reason I got this 3 inches just for doing this, so I'm kind of spacing this out so that I can get the biggest rack I can out of this material. I can do 7-foot wide racks total. So this end I'll cut off square, and then 7 foot or 6 foot, 6 foot long racks. 6 foot, cut it, 6 foot, cut it. And then this one, I'll need 4 out of that one. 2 out of this one, 4 out of that one. That'll give me 6 of those total, which is 3 per each sawhorse. Those will be nice and heavy duty. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but I caught the grass on fire a few times. So we'll come over here to do the actual welding. I'll get the truck moved and we'll set up on these rocks, and hopefully we can prevent wildfire. The wind is kicking right now though. It's really not a great day to be doing this. So it is what it is though. Gotta get work done, so back to it. Alright, well, got all the material cut up. Some little scrap bits over here. Those are my short pieces that are saddled. Here's my long pieces. Now this one, I don't know what happened. I cut it twice and it's still too short, so I'll just have to weld an extra little piece on the end of it there. So anyway, it's unfortunately a little bit extra work, but no big deal. So I'll move the truck so I can get kind of further away from this dry grass. Even though it rained like an inch this morning, the grass is dry on top because of the wind, and so, you know, prone to catch on fire. And it's one thing with a torch, but then once I start welding, you know, I won't be able to see what's around me. It's louder, I can't hear as well, so I got to be real careful not to burn the place down. So we'll just go real slow, kind of weld little bits at a time, walk around, make sure everything's fine, just be as careful as we can. So let's do it. Well, you can tell I'm a really good welder, because you have to be a really good welder to recover from the terrible pipe fitting job I did. This first one's done. Took longer than I would have hoped, just because I did a terrible job, especially on these. I kind of scabbed some plates on there to make up for it, so it kind of looks decent. I haven't chipped any of the slag off. But yeah, that was kind of a disaster. Most of my saddles came out okay, but here's one I think I can show you. Some of them, well, that one's not that bad. I could have filled that in. Like this one, you can kind of see that gap. Some of them didn't come out so great, and a couple of them came out a little bit crooked. And then this, I didn't think about this, but when you put 2 saddles in here, the pipes run into each other, and then I cut way too much off, and yeah, so kind of had to recover from that. I'm gonna keep trying to get some work done on this other one, and I don't think I'm gonna make it back to Stillwater tonight, but yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. Catch you guys in a little bit. Well, just got back with the second load of pipe. Got generator running, power light over there. So it's kind of loud. I'll show you this again later. But got my pipe racks built on the side. So the way these work is this triangular shape here. This goes across, and then on each side there's a 3-foot runner across there, and one right along over there as well. Not super proud of the welds. Well, the welds aren't bad, but my pipe fitting was terrible. So I bought a little bit of this rod. This is 5/8 rod from him, and that first piece that I brought was so that I could cut up and make these little stobs here, and these you just stab into. I made a hole in there. They sit in there and keep anything from being able to roll out on you. So I'll try to get a better video of this tomorrow afternoon after work. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this trailer out here, so I'm just gonna turn it around, park it, and I'm done for the day.